Hey, good morning, my friends. Take a breath, pull those shoulders back, and take a sip of that coffee. And let's get you a little sharper before breakfast. In today's show, Joburg nearly got the lights switched off. Sixty60 is quietly gunning for Takealot's crown. And the Springboks are back with 4 new faces and a message to the Barbarians. Let's get into it. And kicking us off with current affairs, South Africa's biggest city was one boardroom brawl away from getting its power cut. And not because of load shedding, but because of unpaid bills. You see, City Power, which distributes the electricity for Johannesburg, owed Eskom nearly 5 billion rand. And Eskom threatened to pull the plug. Literally. Quietly though, behind the scenes, negotiations dragged on for months. And this week, a last minute deal was struck. City Power will pay 3.2 billion rand over 4 years, and Eskom agreed to write off 830 million rand. So while that fire was being put out, Tshwane faced its own. You see, AfriForum is back in court trying to block a new 194 rand cleansing fee levy on households that already pay for private rubbish removal. The city says it needs the funds. AfriForum says it's unlawful. So there we have it. 2 major metros, same week, same problem. Broken budgets being patched up with last-minute settlements and citizens' cash. And if it can happen in Gauteng, it can happen anywhere. And on to our quick fire mentions. The Eastern Cape floods have now caused over 5.2 billion rand in damage. And with winter storms rolling in, disaster funding remains critically short. And government has only unlocked a fraction of what is needed. And Home Affairs is hiking the cost of real-time ID checks by up to 6,500%, from 15 cents to 10 rand. The department says that underpricing has crashed the system, and mobile networks say that the public may have to pay the price. And on to our finance section. Yesterday we covered the Naspers results, but one thread deserves more airtime, and that is the future of Takealot. You see, most assume that Amazon would have been its biggest threat, but Naspers reckons that its real challenger might actually be Sixty60. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a plot twist. I mean, think about it. What started out as grocery delivery is rapidly morphing into full-scale e-commerce. I mean, just last week, Sixty60 uploaded 3,500 pet products to its app. And Naspers is calling it a significant logistics retail business, one that is expanding fast and offering same-day delivery on everything from air fryers to cat food. Now, Takealot still grew its revenue by 19% and orders by 15%, though it posted a 234 million rand operating loss. Now, Naspers says that it will keep investing to defend its crown. And listen, that crown matters, because as South Africa's e-commerce race gets more competitive, in the end, the winner might just be us. Better prices, faster service, and a couple retail giants fighting for our doorstep. And next up, some of you may have seen and probably ignored that SMS from Discovery saying that this year's medical aid AGM has moved online. But behind that bland notice is a full-blown political drama, and it is happening tomorrow. You see, 77 people are competing for just 3 trustee positions, which are these seats on the board that controls how Discovery spends its money. And trustees help decide what benefits get covered, how premiums are invested, and who pockets the fees. And some of these trustees earn over 2 million bucks a year. And the campaigning has gone wild, with viral WhatsApp messages, lobbying from groups like the South African Zionist Federation, and warnings about anti-Israel candidates. Discovery scrapped the in-person event entirely, citing fear over crowding and accessibility. And honestly, the whole thing feels more like a by-election than a board vote, except that this one affects 2.8 million members and billions in pooled funds. And look, I've never been a fan of AGMs, but this year I might just grab some popcorn and dial in. And on to our quick fire mentions. Not the best news. South Africa has lost 74,000 formal jobs in the first quarter of 2025, mostly in trade, services, and mining. This wipes out the small gains made late last year and pushes total employment down to 10.5 million. And Pick n Pay and Shoprite are celebrating after government scrapped a grain inspection contract that would have raised bread prices. The old deal was labeled unnecessary and costly, with retailers calling it a waste of money. And on to our sports section. My friends, it is finally here. The Springboks open their season this Saturday against the Barbarians in Cape Town, and Rassie Erasmus has named a fresh but fearsome lineup to kick things off. 4 uncapped players have cracked the squad, with Loot Diaga also returning at lock, his first Bok appearance in almost 2 years after a long injury layoff. So starting at fly half is Sasha Feinberg and Gamazulu, with Morne Vandenberg at scrum half, both part of a young playmaking core that Rassie is clearly backing early. And let's just be clear, this is not a throwaway friendly. Erasmus says this is full test intensity, a chance to shake off the rust, blood some new talent, and lock in systems ahead of July's incoming series. And as for the Barbarians, they are loaded with All Black legends, Irish hardmen, also known as quarterfinal specialists, and plenty of flair. This is the first time that the teams have ever clashed on South African soil, and with a sold-out Cape Town crowd, it's the kind of opener that sets the tone for everything to come. And on to our quick fire mentions. Despite taking the Bulls to 3 URC finals in 4 years, Jake White's job may be on the line. Reports say that senior players and assistant coaches have clashed with him behind the scenes, and the Bulls board is now meeting next week to decide whether to back the coach or the squad. And probably my favorite story of the day, 14-year-old Renier Janse van Rensburg from Belleville has officially set the Guinness World Record as the world's youngest cricket umpire. He's already reffing league matches and said his dream is to one day umpire in the IPL. Congrats, young man. You have a whole nation behind you, and we believe you're going to get there. All the best. And as expected, before we get to the wildcard section, here is something to chew on. In the post-apartheid era, who was the youngest to ever debut for the Springboks? Was it A, Francois Steyn, B, Patrick Lambie, or C, Kanan Moody? We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. And on to our wildcard section. Uber has been South Africa's go-to for reliable city travel. Clean cars, polite drivers, and a sense of safety. But lately though, things have reportedly taken a dive. According to My Broadband, complaints have been piling up. Safety concerns, faulty vehicles, drivers cancelling rides or never arriving, and passengers getting charged anyway. Some riders say that they've been harassed or even attacked, while others say that Uber Black now feels more like Uber Beige. But on the driver's side though, many are complaining about rising fuel prices and Uber commissions, saying that margins now are so tight that they can't maintain their vehicles, let alone run the aircon. In response, Uber says that it is investing in in-app safety tools and driver education, and that rider feedback still matters, as it probably should. In saying that though, there is some good news. Cape Town has just approved over 1,100 new e-hailing licenses, which could help with easing delays and get some better cars on the road. And as for that bagel bite, yeah, probably an easy one. The answer is Frans Steyn, who debuted for the Springboks at 19 years and 181 days old back in 2006. He went on to become one of South Africa's most decorated players, winning 2 World Cups 13 years apart. In my opinion, the greatest Springbok of all time. As for the youngest ever though, that honor still belongs to Jack Hartley, just 18 years and 18 days old when he played for the Boks back in 1891. And that's it for today, my friends. Just a reminder, if you prefer my voice over my face, you can still catch us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Perfect for your morning run or your drive to work. Links are in the description or in our bio. I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.